Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and I'm going to go ahead and cover my current portfolio as of Friday, July 14th. So I am completely moved out of my motive investing, and I began buying stocks on Robinhood that I had screened, and they come up as positive stocks that were going to be added to my portfolio. So of those stocks, I have added Cisco here. I purchased 101 shares of Cisco at I bought them in at $31.41. They're currently trading at $31.42. So I made about $1.11 there. Not too worried about the gains. It was all about the dividends. These were all undervalued stocks that their yield had exceeded their current price. ADP, I bought them in at $101.37. They went down by 2 cents. I'm not too worried. Of course, their dividend pay here, their yield is 2.25, but they are a growing company. They've been paying dividends for some 30, 40 years, and right now my average yield is 3.87, but I'm going to be adding a couple higher stocks. I haven't completely filled out my portfolio, so a couple of these like AT&T, I bought at AT&T, and AbbVie Inc. That was already one that I had, Pivsner and Exxon Mobil. So of the stocks that I did buy in today, AbbVie I already had. I'm going to buy additional shares. I'm going to wait for them to drop down below the $72 amount again before I repurchase up my shares. My main target is to have about 3,000 or so into each stock and have about 15 stocks total. That way I have 3 or 4 of every industry. Right now I'm going to already begin getting paid every month. I have Cisco, which pays me January, March, July, and October. Same with ADP, they pay January, same dates. I have AbbVie Inc. and AT&T that pay February, May, August, and November. And then I purchased Pivsner Inc. and Exxon Mobil, which pay March, June, September, and December. So I'm already set to be getting paid every single month of the year. My current annual dividend payout will be about $570. Now that is I am halfway through the year, so I don't expect that whole $570, but it'll be half that or so. And I'm going to continue to add more stocks into my portfolio. Now each of these I screened to see here. So if we take a look, Cisco, I already did a video on Cisco, and ADP here. It's that ADP in there, and we have AbbVie, which I'm not going to worry about. AT&T and Pivsner and Exxon Mobil. So let's start with Exxon here. For their yearly dividend to price, their price has gone down dramatically, which has skyrocketed their dividend yield. So right now we can see that they have a great track record for dividend payouts. They've been paying dividend since the early 80s. They had a drop in the 2000 era, but then they recovered very quickly, and they've been continuing to pay dividends even through the 2008 recession period. We can add the US recessions in here. Let me go ahead and do that. So 2000 they had a recession and they dropped it there a little bit, but they recovered it. And then 2008 they had a recession, and we're due for another one here. But I don't believe they'll be dropping their price. But their yield was very, very high up compared to their price, so they're very undervalued right now. And ExxonMobil has been paying dividends for years. Pivsner was my second choice here. You can see that their dividend yield has also outgrown their price, and they're a very swinging trade stock. You know, they stay pretty good. Let's take a look at their dividend growth for the past 10 years. You can see that in 2008, let's take away the price here. in the yield, we can see that they're during the recession of in the 90s, I think it was 92, there was a recession, they continued paying through. The 2000, they continued paying through. They may have had a hard patch in 2004, but they recovered, increased their dividends back up. Looks like they had dropped it mid-year there, and continued to go up for a while, and they did drop it in 2009, it looks like, during that, or 2008 May of the recession period. They did drop it back down. It has got up. This is one that you know, it was a discount. This may be one I'll be replacing in the future, but still, that growth pattern, even if they had a very high spike right here, that they couldn't afford to pay out that much, so they had to correct it back down. You can see that the chart, if they had actually done this the smooth way, they could have probably continued paying dividends through the recessions, but they had just increased it way too much after the 2000 recession that they just couldn't maintain it, so they had to retract it back down, and then they've continued a nice steady slope. So I don't see this one having any issues in the next recession, so I'm pretty confident Pivner will continue to pay out and grow. AT&T, let's go ahead and bring back their price and dividend yield. We can see here for their 6 month, we can see that their yield is at a 5.36%. That is gigantic. On the news today, Verizon had a leakage of data, but AT&T has been good. They are, I believe AT&T was merging with a specific company. They're going to be doing some newscasts and different stuff. Better than Verizon merged with Yahoo and such. Verizon's not doing too great. I believe AT&T will pull out in the end. You can see that AT&T has much higher dividend yield compared to their price, meaning that they're undervalued. We can see that they're, let's take a look at their dividend data here. They've been paying dividends for many years. I think they're actually in the like 30 or some years, if not more. They're a good communication services group. You can see that in the 2000s recession, 92 recession, they paid through it. 2000 recession, they paid through it. They increased it. They came back a little bit after the increase. They were probably trying to get new investors to buy into their stock, so they increased it, and they dropped it back down. They didn't drop it below what the normal growth would have been, which, you know, that's fine. Again, back to Pivner doing the same thing. They increased it a giant spike after the 2008 recession. They increased it a lot. So AT&T, I don't see them as having any issues with them retracting or lowering their dividend payout. So good company. ADP, let's go ahead and bring back the price and yield. We can see that the price per yield is again, ADP actually, I had ADP. Price is the blue one, so actually ADP is not too undervalued. Let's see here, 1 month. Their yield, they did come up on my chart as far as being undervalued. Maybe for the year they may not be undervalued, but for their current timeline that they're currently in, their yield is a pretty high yield compared to their payout. ADP is a company that I believe has a strong future. Let's go ahead and take out the price and the yield. We can see that their dividend has continued since 92 recession. They continued paying through 2000 recession, 2008 recession. They had some big spikes in their dividend payout. So very good continued growth. They are a growth company. So even right now, if they have a low dividend yield, my money returned over the growth that they have will exceed 4% in the next coming years. Why? By reinvesting those dividends back into the company. So those are my 5 stocks that I currently picked for my Robinhood application. You can see them right here. AbbVie 15 shares, Cisco 106 shares, ADP 33 shares, AT&T 93 shares, Pivner 99 shares, and ExxonMobil 8 shares. Now some of these I do have IBM and Intel in my future. Just looking at them, I'm waiting for them to drop. I think IBM is not currently, I believe it is undervalued at the time. Let's go look at the 1 year. Yeah, the dividend yield is 3.69 right now. So very good yield right now. But I still feel they might be a little bit expensive for what they're future holds for them. I'll have to look into them a little bit more about what their future is. But I think they're next on my radar. They would finish off my communications and technology sector. I don't want to get too technological, but Cisco, ADP, AT&T, they are tech companies, but they've continued to pay out dividends even during the recession. So we take a look at IBM. We can see here during the recession period, they did actually drop it back in '92 after the recession. They dropped their dividend, but then they've been continuing to pay a dividend throughout the past 2 recessions. So they could be a good one to look for into the future, and they do offer a good yield right now of 3.69%. So that is on my radar, and I'm going to see how next week turns out. They might actually drop in price where I'll be able to pick them up at a discount. So that is it for this video. If you liked the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on these videos or on the stocks that I invested in, if you enjoy these videos, or if you want me to talk about something else. Remember to that is it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.